leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I'll barbecue your ass flat. I will cook your ass up so fast, and I'll tell them, oh, I killed a cow out back, baby. You think Christ would eat somebody? He would never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up, gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get my hands around your throat.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to SciFails, where we look at some people taking the advantage of the public square and the accessibility of putting their message out there to misrepresent and lie about science. So we got to come pick up the pieces. There's a reason why I put Mr. Alex Jones on today, because we are actually doing something Jones adjacent. And for Aunt Jer, who was asking, did Alex Jones really say that? Yes, all those are real sound bites of Alex Jones. It's just been cut together to make it sound musical. But yes, everything he said there, he really has said. Absolutely. He is very, very stable man. All right, so we're going to look at one of his babies, though. Something that he has brought to the forefront. I'd like to thank Beamsy for helping me research for this, because we are looking at wind turbine infrasound effects on humans and animals. And boy, oh boy, is this a shit show. So, it's not too long, but we're going to power through it on today's episode of SciFails. So I hope that you are here for it. Let's go. And no, it's not muted. It's quiet here. There we go.
Since 2003, health practitioners, scientists, and noise experts from around the world have recorded a common set of health problems among people living near industrial-scale wind turbines. Numerous symptoms are reported when wind turbines are sited too close to people's homes and workplaces. These vary from person to person and are dependent on wind direction and weather conditions.
Tinnitus, that's ringing ears, dizziness, headaches, poor sleep, anxiety, depression.
Headaches, wanting to vomit all the time, pains in the chest, blood pressure. You go to can't sleep, got sleeping tablets, do nothing for you.
Really bad chest pain.
So the many and varied symptoms associated with wind turbine syndrome, which is pseudoscience. It's not like a real pseudo-medical diagnosis is what they call it. Sort of like autogynephilia. And people will use these pseudo-scientific terms to try to claim that that they know what they're talking about, and that doctors have this opinion when they don't. These are just made up pseudo-scientific medical terms, which we're going to probably see more of on SciFails. Because I am branching out from just covering bad animal videos to covering just bad science videos in general here. So we'll see stuff about all sorts of pseudoscience. There's quite a nice list available out here right on Wikipedia to give me sources to sink my teeth into. So we're going to have a fun time. We will still, of course, do the bad animal videos. Of course we will. Biology is my, or ecology, I should say more so, and ethology are my two favorite things to talk about. But I also love talking about quack medicine because I actually work in the medical field. I won't use my credentials here as a reason to refute this, because I don't need to. You can, as anybody can refute this bullshit.
Of a night, and a lot of blood noses. Like I'd be asleep and just wake up, and my nose would be bleeding. and it's just pretty scary stuff.
And I developed the most severe headache I'd ever experienced. Even though I live 3.5 kilometres away, they affect me at night, and my blood pressure rises while I'm asleep, and I wake up with rapid heartbeat and things like that.
Honey says he's 3.5 kilometers away, and he thinks the windmills are giving him the worst headaches he's ever had. Previous guy said they gave him nosebleeds and things like that. Now, there's been double-blind studies. We're going to get into those. This has been well researched. This is not... Well, hold on. Let me just to give you an idea. Like, there's papers... Not the Gibbon. More Gibbon screaming. There's papers on this. And oh, yeah, look at this. This is the citation section for why this is woo. On the Wikipedia article, this is their citation section. Very robust. 26 citations about wind energy and wind turbines and studies and research projects done on whether or not they are responsible for sickness. Now, the problem is we have idiots like Alex Jones that just promote stuff blindly, and then you have people like Donald Trump who repeat it. And when the president of the United States says something like that, because he was president when he said that.
Cardiovascular events and cerebrovascular events, and one's mortality is increased with sleep problems.
Symptoms have been consistently reported in Australia up to 10 kilometres from homes. Most symptoms disappear when people leave the area or when the turbines are switched off.
I went to the doctor 2 days later. My blood pressure had to return completely back to normal.
It's almost like it's psychosomatic. And I'm not saying that there can't be certain triggers if the windmill is making a noise of some type because of it's not set up right and it's causing irritation. It just makes you irritable, which raises your blood pressure. But this idea that it's sending out some nefarious infrasound that's driving people crazy and making them sick, and well, we're gonna see all kinds of claims here once we get into the InfoWars stuff. So hang on to your butts.
Turbines hadn't been going.
I remember there was like 5 days straight and it was dead calm, they weren't turning, and we were just back to normal. It was just great. And then you get up the next morning and bang, they're going again, and you just sink into depression and you start feeling the same effects just come back.
Placing wind turbines too close to homes has a negative impact beyond personal health issues. Over 20 Australian rural families, some who have been on the land for decades, have been forced to sell or even abandon their homes because of serious ill health caused by wind turbines.
After speaking to our family doctor, his suggestion was the only way to fix the problem was to move from our family home. So that was it for us, we had to move.
I've had contractor...
You're telling me your family doctor diagnosed you with windmill cancer? Or, yeah, I know it's called windmill cancer. It's not what we call it when Trump brought it up. He said, I can give you cancer. But this wind turbine syndrome, your doctor diagnosed you with that? I'd get a new doctor.
Had ill stripping crop this last year. I've got a shearing shed here that's only 1 kilometre away. So if you've got staff in the shearing shed, you're responsible for them, and it's a worry.
It's the way the wind farm companies go about their way of signing up residents, and that does concern me.
Right, it's very similar to what they used to say about high tension wires and power generators back in the 50s and 60s and stuff. Oh, they're emitting radiation, radio towers even. Oh, they're emitting radiation, we can't go near them. There was this idea that if you went near them, they were like so radioactive that they'd melt you and stuff like that. Really weird claims. People still do that. 5G, remember when 5G, oh my gosh, it's going to melt your brain. Everybody was all about it. So, it's not surprising that they're the people who don't understand how radiation works, or that they're exposed to radiation every second of the day.
It does divide small communities. One farmer would be given the information and signed up as a potential to have wind farms on their property, but they had to sign a confidentiality clause, which meant that they couldn't talk to their neighbours.
Wind turbines emit both audible and inaudible noise and have various electromagnetic impacts. While there is some research on how sound and vibration energy affects humans,
Various electromagnetic impacts. Can we get a citation on that? I mean, obviously you can have big metal arms spinning in the air 24 hours a day without some kind of electromagnetic interference, but I don't know if they're projecting like an electromagnetic frequency that's dangerous or even has any biological impact on humans at all. We're surrounded by electromagnetic frequencies all the time. I saw, who was it in the Spooky said, yeah, this is bollocks, unlike Wi-Fi allergies. Yeah, but Wi-Fi allergies is a thing. The inaudible noises, there is, we're going to talk about infrasound. It's going to come up.
there is very little research specifically examining the effects of wind turbines. We still have a lot to learn about exactly why they are making people sick.
I think firstly it makes sense to site the wind turbines as far away as possible from where people live. And how far is far enough? I don't know the answer to that. I think we need to establish some research to try to get data to sort this out.
And now, the issue is in the national spotlight, with the Australian Federal Senate inquiry making important recommendations in June 2011. This includes that the noise standards should include appropriate measures to calculate the impact of low frequency.
I am not opposed to noise standards for any kind of energy production, right? There should be noise standards for... Yeah, inaudible noise is the infrasound. It's where it's below the frequency from which humans can hear, but our eardrums can still feel it. Our bodies can still feel it. We can have negative reactions to it. I actually have something set up for next week. We're going to go over more stuff on infrasound. We're going to talk about the big cat roar theory. So it's going to be fun because we're pulling the MGM lion and everything in on it. So don't miss that for next Saturday, live from the Hive. Not this week, because this is this week. We're going to talk about infrasound as it's related to machinery.
Noise and vibrations indoors at impacted dwellings. That further consideration be given to the development of policy on separation criteria between residences and wind farm facilities. And
you probably, what I want to say is most of us, if we live within 5 miles of a highway, already experience regular waves of infrasound constantly. Because different vehicles driving over highways with tunnels built underneath them, it's like a giant pipe organ of infrasounds. They found that certain areas, one that I like to focus on is the TNT area where Mothman sightings happen, that are known for their acoustic anomalies of causing uncomfortableness from infrasound, and infrasounds emitted just from driving through there's all these concrete bunkers lined up. It's like a freaking flute, a flute of infrasound that causes people to be uncomfortable. We'll get into that next week. For right now, we're going to talk about this machinery.
that the Commonwealth Government initiate as a matter of priority thorough, adequately resourced epidemiological and laboratory studies. Despite the Senate inquiry, no action has yet been taken by the federal or state governments to properly implement these recommendations. And while nothing is being done, plans for even more developments across rural Australia are going ahead at...
Now, this is Australia, of course, but there has been a lot of actual research done into this topic on a global scale. Again, I showed you all the robust research that goes into the determinations that they make before they put in a wind farm. I don't disagree that there should be some distance. Maybe I'm being pedantic, but I would define noise as sound that is audibly disruptive. Yeah, it's audibly disruptive, but not to humans, though. How do you parse that? Because like there's sounds like dogs can hear. Is it a sound to a dog, but not to it? It's not sound because we can't hear it, or it's not audible because I guess audible to humans. Inaudible noise means inaudible. When you say inaudible noise, I guess you specify inaudible to humans because there are animals that can hear infrasounds too. Again, as aforementioned, big cats and cattle and sheep. All these animals make and hear sounds outside of the human range of hearing, and that's going to become important too.
At an exponential rate. This is not an issue confined to one resident, one town, or one country. It's a growing health issue on a global scale. As a matter of urgency, the problem must be seriously researched by independent experts following the Federal Senate recommendations. And until research findings emerge, any new turbine placement should be at least 10 kilometres from homes.
It's just simple, isn't it? Like they're obviously just not meant to be where people live, and in certain circumstances where people...
Where do they get the 10-kilometer distance from, though? I wonder, out loud.
What?
He just cuts off in the mid-sentence. Like, that wasn't me.
And in
That
certain
was...
circumstances where people work, just not...
At least 10 kilometres from homes.
It's just simple, isn't it? Like they're obviously just not meant to be where people live, and in certain circumstances where people work.
So it's so bizarre that, like, that's the second person I covered today who had, like, bad weird cutoffs in their video, like cutting people off mid-sentence or mid-word. He's saying that people work. Now we're going to move on to InfoWars, and we're going to be in Colorado. So, a little closer to home for Bree.
So we were just standing out here reporting when this man came out and stopped by to ask us why the wind turbines weren't turning, and he himself is a resident out here amongst the wind turbine array. So have you been affected at all by these wind turbines?
My family has. They have made my wife very sick. She has trouble walking now. Her joints ache. We sold off our cattle. They weren't doing well. Our chickens stopped laying eggs, and we're planning on moving. We're being forced out.
Is there anything?
So his wife is very sick. His cattle aren't doing well, and his chickens stopped laying eggs. The power of the wind turbine is, like, exceptional here, right? I mean, what could you even compare that to? It's able to make people sick, and your cattle. I don't know what he means by cattle not doing well. I guess maybe they weren't putting on the weight, but there's gonna be a lot of claims like that. The range of effects that they attribute to the windmills is just totally astonishing. Like, how are all these things allegedly from windmills or wind turbines? How did this wind turbine phobia even start? And the reason I keep saying windmills is because I keep wanting to call it windmill cancer, like when we talk about Donald Trump, but I'm trying to avoid this and avoid that and be professional. Imagine having to move from your property because Pops convinced himself the wind turbines are rotting his brain. Yeah, and again, I want to be clear that, like, I don't like, I'm not in favor of just eminent domain, just plowing people over and being like, oh yeah, we're going to put this noisy thing right next to you, because, yeah, when I was in my early 20s, I rented this is a silly story, but I rented this apartment, or it was a little house, actually, more so, but anyway, it was only 2-bedroom, but the right across the street from our bedroom window was the town whistle, which blew at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day. So, wake up to that every morning at 7 a.m. It's wonderful. Right outside your window, it's supposed to be so loud it's heard across town.
Anything else you want to say about, the wind turbines and things like that?
We feel really bad that the county didn't look after the people that were here. Apparently they got bought off politically or something. All the objections that were brought forth, they just brushed aside. And we always felt there was a ulterior motive why they were here. But, without a lot of money to dig into it and legal aid, there's no way you'll ever find out the truth. The way they wrote the contract, they can turn around and walk away, and the county's stuck with trying to get rid of these things. We've also heard that the liquids that they use in these things pollute the ground. And there's no way of getting rid of it.
I mean, you're talking about machinery, though. Anything with moving parts, you're going to have to keep lubricated. So, to keep it from to control the heat. So yeah, there's any kind of machinery is going to have liquids that are potentially contaminating the ground. Now, should we make the best effort to find the least problematic lubrication as possible for this greener energy option? Absolutely. Should we use that as a reason just to not put wind turbines in? No.
That too, the ground's contaminated for years afterwards. I don't think you're going to have a chance with Xterra. I think they're going to take their money and run if they haven't already. And then the county's stuck with the cleanup. And they won't be able to do anything either.
These things are already falling apart. There's patchwork done all along the sides of these things, and there's been numerous blades and repairs that have been having to be done on these wind turbines.
I appreciate info.
Yeah, we do repairs on coal power plants too, on nuclear power plants too. There's repairs and maintenance that's done. If you don't like what you're seeing as far as the state of these turbines, maybe invest more money into the infrastructure so they can build them with more sustainable and potentially more renewable material.
Wars coming out and looking into this, and hopefully they'll make
What was that?
appreciate InfoWars coming out and looking into this, and hopefully they'll make the public more aware of what's going on, and maybe there'll be some resolution. And I hope it stops some of these wind farms from spreading to other parts of other communities.
I too use synthetic lube, Dave. So much in common between me and wind turbines. What's with the line on this guy's head? Did he have like a dirty hat on? They just took off?
So it'll affect the health of other
it's a scratch
people.
on the...
Thank you very much.
I'm here with Joe Cobb and his son. They are both residents out here in Callahan, Colorado. So, Joe, how's it been living amongst the wind turbines?
Torturous. Absolutely torturous.
Torturous.
It's just every day. It's just berated and beat on every day. You can't get away from it. And now that they're down, we don't know what to think.
You guys do have livestock and animals. How have your animals been? I mean, I know you said that a lot of them have actually passed and you've had a lot of problems. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we've lost 16 animals in the past 18 months since they turned these things on. We've had 2 blind ducks. We've got another one that's going blind. We've had deformities in baby goats, and we've had even
So, does this sound familiar to you guys? Something is causing illness, causing our livestock to have deformities and stillborn. Our ducks are going blind. Our goats are born deformed. Our horses are having miscarriages of fully termed fetuses. This is freaking witchcraft, right? This is middle age witch scare. Am I wrong? Is this not blaming a whole slew of misfortune that's visited upon a group of people on some nefarious force that's causing it all working together instead of just, life's a bitch?
baby horse that was aborted at full term, and we don't have any explanation why. But we've been doing it for 30 years, and we've never had these problems.
And what about you? What type of symptoms and health problems do you experience from the wind turbines?
It's been exhaustion is a good way to describe it. It is, you can sleep 8 hours every night. You wake up, you're just tired. You stay tired. It doesn't go away. And mental clarity is a good way to describe it. It's like you're in a fog.
I know that your mom has had health problems from it too. What does she typically experience?
It's been tiredness, headaches. It's been
mental exhaustion.
Yeah.
Just straight up mental exhaustion, and she's been fighting this every day. She's only been away from it for...
So I'm not even near a wind turbine. So how do I have tiredness and headaches? Sometimes I'll sleep 8 hours and I'll wake up freaking tired. There must be a wind turbine nearby somewhere, right? And what about if I had a duck and it was going blind here and there's no wind turbine? What about people who don't live near a wind turbine who have a horse miscarriage? I bet there's horse miscarriages every day. I wonder how they're all related to wind turbines, or if you're just drawing a circle and saying all this stuff happened within this circle, so it's all connected.
For 2 weeks since they came on, and you can just see it in her. I mean, the get up and go has got up and left, and she just fights it every day to take care of the animals and feed them and keep them going while she's watching them suffer and die as well. So it's really been hard on her.
Do you think that the county commissioners are actually going to do something to turn these things off?
Well, that's the only hopes that we have at this point. We've done our best to go before them and present our case, and we're hoping that at least they can give us a little bit of due credit. They talk about being respectful of them. They need to be respectful of us as well.
Do you think that's a little bit of a victory that NextEra had to admit that, even though they tried to then say that the infrasound wasn't going to cause health problems?
Well, it was absolute victory because all times before I've talked to NextEra, and I've talked to David Gill personally on the phone, and he told me infrasound exists, but turbines don't produce it. And so I was fully prepared at the meeting to give them proof that infrasound does exist. But
so this guy, Farmer John here, Joe Cobb, he's an activist. He's still out there working on doing anti-wind turbine propaganda, but he didn't know that the that the Green Energy Coalition that he was going to court with would he didn't know that they would know or admit that infrasound existed. The farmer thought the scientist wouldn't know about infrasound, and he was like, he went to court prepared to argue infrasound exists.
They came along prior to that and admitted to it. So now we just got to get the health aspect of it out there, and all we can do is send out the information to the Board of County Commissioners and hope for the best.
The wind turbine company only did admit that the wind turbines did create infrasound after residents out here, including myself, all kind of chipped in and paid for an acoustical engineer to put
That needs a citation, my friend. You don't get to say an acoustical engineer proved it.
equipment out on various properties out here to test for infrasound. And it was once that acoustical engineer found the presence of infrasound and that data was given.
And infrasound is produced by dozens of things in nature all the time. There's always infrasound going on in your environment. It's never completely quiet just because you can't hear all the full range of sound. There's distant rivers rumbling. There's again, we got highways here. It's hard. You can hear the highway behind you guys right now. That's going to have infrasound, especially if there's, again, tunnels and spillways underneath it. The cattle that you're so worried about protecting produce a slew of infrasound. You can only hear a small range of what cows are talking about. Of course, they can only hear a small range of what we're talking about, too, so there's that. But there are so many factors that come into play that could produce infrasound from your acoustic research other than the windmills themselves.
Over to the county. Only then did NextEra admit to the infrasound being present on non-participating landowners' property.
Again, just because the infrasound is present doesn't mean that it is from the wind turbines. What a crazy video. So, yeah, I've got some research here. She insisted that there's no independent research being done on wind turbines. This video is from 2015. This research right here, Wind Turbine Health Impact Study Report of Independent Expert Panel, January 2012, prepared for Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, Massachusetts Department of Public Health. And this is not some dinky little research project, right? This is a robust survey conducted by dozens of scientists and engineers to ensure that these windmills would, or wind turbines would be installed with the least amount of environmental and public impact as possible. So, if you want to see more of this study, I'm going to drop it into the side chat here, and I'll also put it into the description. Here's one done, another independent paper done in Canada, so no influence by the U.S. government. This is from Canadian physicians doing research, being pulled into research on this alleged phenomena. All right, so we got that. And these are all free and public for you, me, Alex Jones, and his reporters to read before they come on and say there's no research done. Another paper, symptoms intuitively associated with wind turbine infrasound. So this is going to talk about the psychosomatic symptoms and how people are intuitively wanting to associate them with the wind turbines, like drawing correlation. Correlation is not causation. And then we have the health effects of 72 hours of simulated wind turbine infrasound, a double-blind, random crossover study in noise sensitivity in healthy adults. So this is the golden ticket right here. And this one is a double blind on what she's saying that there was no research done on it. This is fairly new, though, so it probably wasn't at the time that she did her video. So I acknowledge that because this is from just this year, March 2023. But the guy that made this video Well, he put that out 2 years ago, so he probably wouldn't have had access to that either. So I don't blame either of them for not knowing this about this double-blind study, but, you know, it's out there. It's out there for everybody to see. So, wind turbine syndrome. All right, so what do you guys think? Do you like this format? Let me know. Do you like when I talk about some of this other bad science and woo-woo stuff that people put out on the internet without thoughts on who and how they could potentially hurt people? Let me know in the comments. I'm really enjoying doing some SciFails with you guys, and yeah, appreciate you dropping in. Please remember to be kind. Take care, and we will see you next time.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural, and this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murder scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive. They're selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we want to eat babies." I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, "We love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet."
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.